Hey Janelle, let's take a look at your week for assignment 2 drawing here. This is a nice, excuse me, this is a nice drawing and a good ad I think to work with because it doesn't inundate you with a lot of information visually, but there's more than enough stuff to have to deal with texturally, good color, good amount of text to be dealing with, and I think it's a nice choice. It's not simple, but it's definitely not super over the top complex. So I thought you did a good job of it. I really like how you're dealing with the hair and how it feels not generalized in any way. I think you could definitely go in with some of the darker values that are in place that we're seeing towards kind of the center, and just having some of those, just as you are having kind of the white on the top, doing the same thing with a little bit of the dark, just so that it feels like there's some shadow tones in there. I think the other thing that really feels like is missing is some of the shadow tone and the color reflection that's down at the bottom, and I think this would be fine with just a little bit of some color pencil being laid in to show that it's actually resting on a ground plane, which this is, and is feeling like it is, rather than floating kind of in the air. So I think that's maybe for me the one visual component that could be brought forward a little bit more. The texture on the orange is very good. I think the transition from kind of darker to lighter is also working out very well. The sunglasses feel good overall. I think just a little bit of some shape issues with the actual shade part of it that could be adjusted. But a nice touchdown at the bottom where you're rendering the actual containers themselves. Good color that's nice and bright that matches the color of the text overall. There's some red going on, but if you don't have this kind of violet red, I can see the reason why you went the way that you went. You could go in and Greek this out. You don't need to draw in text that's this small. You just need to show that it's there. You would want to use the same color that the text is, but you don't need to have to actually write it out. Overall, that's something that's so small that it doesn't really matter. Up top is something you'd want to draw out because it's the title and it's a subhead, but anything that's kind of smaller than the subhead you usually don't have to deal with. But I think overall, it works out well. You're dealing with some textural stuff, which I think is great. The marker use is limited, but I think is good enough for as limited as kind of the ad is showing us. I'd like to see a little bit more value being integrated in, a little bit more, darker value down here. Obviously a lot more kind of value going on in the hair, and then, like I said, being able to get some of that reflected light on the ground plane. But it's a nice reproduction. It's got a lot of little unexpected kind of nice surprises in it, like having the actual bottles being rendered and some nice color matching, and you're dealing with the text, I think, observationally well also. So a nice job, good mix of color pencil, good mix of marker, and good observational stuff.